Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn the next lesson, lesson 7, Amazing Animals, class 5, subject science. By the way, welcome to our Sri Vidyarambham Academics. Education starts here, and today we are going to learn about amazing animals. Okay, next, the surroundings in which the animals live is called their environment. Okay, what is it called? The surroundings in which the animals live is called their environment. Okay, understood. Next, we are going to learn what is an habitat. What is habitat, children? An area in which a particular animal naturally lives, eats, grows, and reproduces is called habitat. What is it called? Habitat. Okay. So for this, I will tell you one small example. We will relate the animals to us. See, when we are in a rainy season, what we are wearing? Correct. I can listen to you. That is, we are wearing raincoat, no? And why we are not wearing it in a summer? That means summer it is very hot. We'll wear very light clothes which are very comfortable for us, which will help us to bear the heat. In that way, we are getting adjusted to the surroundings around us. In the same way, animals also, according to the environment, their body has been made. The God has given different bodies for the different animals. Like now we are going to discuss. Next you will know. I'll tell you. So again I will tell this definition. See, children, an area in which a particular animal naturally lives, eats, grows, and reproduces is called habitat. Okay. What is the spelling of habitat? Habitat. Habitat. Now, look into the textbook, children. See this. Now, the main habitats for the animals are what, children? Where do the animals live? They live in the forests, deserts, polar regions, and high mountains, oceans, freshwater bodies like lakes and rivers. Okay. Now, we will first discuss about the forest animals. That is wild animals, children. Okay. Now, first, what is this? What I am showing you? Correct. Tiger. So, next, what is the next animal? See, a rabbit in a burrow. Correct. Next, a bird on a tree. So the forests are large areas, children, that contain variety of trees and other plants, and a large variety of animals also live in the forest. So different animals live at the different places in the forest. So for example, lions and tigers, they live in caves or dens, birds and monkeys on trees, snakes in the holes, and rabbits in the burrows. See, now the lions and tigers can't live in the water, and the snake they cannot live on a in a very deep waters. Snakes live on most probably in the on the land only, because there will be many wild snakes. Okay, they live in the wild forest only, snakes. In the same way, see, crocodile is there. Crocodile will live both on the land and the water. See, understood? So this is elephant I am showing you. This is an elephant. I am showing you the elephant, and I would like to talk about the habitat for this. See, the elephant, where it lives, children? It lives in the wild forest only. It can walk in the water, but it can't live. It can swim, but it can't live in water. See, next, this is tiger. Tiger cannot. It will swim in water, but generally most of the tigers, they can't swim. This can walk in water, but it cannot live inside the water. So in the same way, snakes also. Snakes are some snakes are there which can live in water, but most of the snakes are wild snakes. They live like anaconda, very big pythons. They live on the land only. So they are seen in the wild forest. Okay, children. So that means the God has created in such a way that their bodies are adjusted to the habitat according to their living. Okay, next, deserts. Now we will talk about the deserts, children. See this. What is this? Camel. So where does a camel live? Can anybody tell me? Correct. The camel lives in the desert. So now the sandy land areas in which they have the sufficient water sources, without any like sufficient water sources will be there in the sand, in the desert. No. The sandy areas where there is no sufficient water sources, green vegetation, they are called deserts. The deserts are usually hot places, and the water are hardly found in deserts. During the day, the deserts are hot, while the night they are cool. So desert animals, they have special body features. Now I am showing you camel, no? See this. Some of them they bury under the ground during the day to keep them cool. Some have thick skin to the save water. So camel stores fat in the hump and uses its food when needed. Children, see this is called hump. This is a special feature given to the camel by the god. So in this hump it will store the water and food. So long legs of the camel that helps it to keep the body away from the heat of the sand, and it can protect its eyes from the sand with its long eyelashes. Okay, now moving on to the next segment is polar regions and high mountains. See, this is a polar bear, correct? So how it is, it can live in a desert like camel? No. Now camel can live in a very mountain regions, cool regions like this polar bear? No. That means the body adjustments are in such a way, the god has created in such a way that this polar bear can't live in the desert and the camel cannot live in the mountains, correct? So the polar regions and high mountains are very cold places and they are covered with snow. Polar bears, seal, penguins, these animals live in these regions and they are able to survive because they have special features, children, to withstand the cold. See this, how the fur is white. Body, it is having fur, white fur, thick fur. It will be to protect it from the cold conditions. They have a layer of fat under the skin which keeps them warm. Some of them also have the thick fur. Okay, I told you. Now we will talk about the next animal, that is moving on to next segment, freshwaters, oceans. See this, children, oceans. The oceans are the largest habitat on earth. A large variety of fishes are found in the oceans. Okay, so blue whale, octopus, shark, etc., these are found in the oceans. Okay, now rivers, lake, pond, etc., are freshwater habitats, children. In this, fishes, frogs, salamanders. Please have a look. See this, frog. Next, salamander. All these, they live in the fresh water. Okay, they live on land also and in water also. Thus they are called amphibians. What are they called? Amphibians. What are they called? Amphibians. 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 Okay, next. Moving on to the next segment, adaptations in animals. Yes, children. Next, the adaptations in animals. What are the adaptations? Just now I told one example to you. So these are the changes in the body organs, functions, feathers, or behavior of an organism that helps it to survive in its habitat. Okay, children. So sorry for this is features. Okay, so functions, features, or behavior of an organism that helps it to survive in its habitat. Okay, children. So these adaptations, these are many, all different types of animals have different adaptations, children, and they have the body organs, functions, features, or the behavior of the organism will be there. So it will be separate for each and every animal. It is not alike for all the animals. Each and every animal is unique. We all human beings, only two sects are there, female, male. In that, each and every human being is separate, different from the other person. In the same way, each and every child is having one positive feature in him. In the same way, animals also, each and every animal, it is not alike, it is different and it is unique in this God creation. So according to this, adaptations are changes in the body organs. In the body organs will be different. See, for the tiger, the body organs are different, and the organs may be, the composition may be, all the things will be there, but what are the compositions is there and how the God has created them is different. Organs, functions, features, or behavior of the organism that helps to survive, it is called as habitat. Okay, just now I told you what is habitat before this only. So to survive in its habitat, in its place, how it is surviving in the particular region. Just now I told you the definition of habitat. In that way, that is called as how the animal is adjusting to its habitat is known as adaptation. Adaptations are the changes. Those are the changes. Okay. For this, I would like to talk to you about the body coverings, children. First, see this body coverings. In this body coverings, you have scales. See, where do you see the scale? Generally, the scales are seen in the fish. Where is the fish? The fish is in the will be seen. Is it seen on the normal land? No, it is seen in the water. Okay, so the body of the fishes and the reptiles are covered with scales, and the scales vary in size, shape and structure. In the fishes also have hundreds and thousands of fishes. So in the same way, the scales of the shrimp, these are rigid, while eel has no scales. Eel is one type of fish, shrimp is one type of fish. Okay, so most of these reptiles have the horny scales on to prevent the water loss. The snakes also have the scales. See this, these are the snakes. Snake is having the scales. See children, scales, scales. Okay, so this will prevent the water loss. Already it is in water only. Now more water loss from its body. It don't have energy to just swim also. That's why this is the adaptation to its environment. This is the scales. Now we are talking about the body coverings. Just now I told you. I am again repeating so that you will remember that. Next, the snakes also have scales. You all know snake picture. Now I will show you. So don't worry. Okay. But you just remember one snake. On the snake you have so many scales on its body, like this only scales you have. Okay, so they also shed their skin periodically, which is replaced by a new one. Okay, understood children? Yes, see the scales on the snake's body, children. See, is it clear? So this is how he has given the picture for you. It is very clear. Down picture. See this. These are scales. These are also scales. Okay, next, see this children, come back. Yeah, now next we are talking about the shells. The shedding of an old skin to acquire to a new one is called molting. Okay children, what is it called? Molting. MOULTING. Okay, now I am talking about first molting definition is over now. Yes, next. Generally molting will happen in the snakes. Now next, second part I am moving to, this is shells. You can see the shell, no? Where it is seen. Correct, I can listen to you. This is tortoise. On this shell is there. Okay, so a shell is a hard out covering that protects the animals when they are in danger. The animals like snails, tortoise and turtles have hard shells. When these animals are in danger, they withdraw their heads and limbs into the shell. That's what is happening. If you touch this head, no, it will go inside like a small baby. It will go and it will hide. You will feel that it is a rock. In this way, this shell is protecting the tortoise. Okay. Next, children, moving on to the next segment. We are talking about the body coverings. Third one type we are learning, feathers. Flight feather, down feather, body feather. So the feathers, these, where are these seen? Tell me. Correct. They are seen in the birds. So they help them during the flight and also give them the shape. The birds use their feathers to keep themselves warm and cold cold in also to protect from rain. All the birds have three types of feathers, children. What are they? Flight feather, down feather and body feathers. Okay. Next, moving on to the next segment, that is the body coverings we are talking about. Fourth segment, fur or wool. Come on, look at this. Have a look. What is this? This is a sheep. See how much fur is there on its body. Arre wow, super it is, no? Like that. Animals like sheep, goats and birds have fur that cover the bodies. So thick fur protects bear from rain and cold. In the same way, the sheep's hair also keep them warm when it is cold. Okay. We also see that this sheep hair is used to make wool for woolen clothes. So the woolen clothes, how they are made? By shaving this sheep only, children. You know that they will make this people, they will take a mission and nicely shave this fur, and from this only woolen clothes for us we are wearing in the winter season. Okay, so this is the thing, main thing. Next, moving on to the next segment, feeding habits. Now we are going to talk about feeding habits. Yes, feeding habits, children. Now feeding habits means what? We are eating, now we are having one. See, we have two types of people in us, in human beings. They are vegetarian, non-vegetarian. In the same way, feeding habits, the animals also, different types of feeding habits are there. What are they? Three types. You are all aware of it. In 3rd, 4th class you have already learned. They are herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. The animals that eat only plants are called herbivores, children. HERBIVORES. Those are called herbivores. Herbivorous animals. So cows, goats, giraffes and deer, these are some herbivores. So they have the sharp front teeth, children, incisors to cut the parts of the plant, and large flat black teeth, premolars and molars to grind the food. Next, see this. Carnivores. What are carnivores? Animals that eat flesh of other animals are called carnivores, and these are called carnivorous animals. They have very sharp pointed canines to tear the flesh and strong black back teeth. Back teeth means backside the teeth are there inside the mouth. Premolars and molars to chew the flesh and bones. The lions, tigers and wolves are some of the carnivores. See, lions, tigers and wolves. Sorry, see this. Lions, tigers and wolf. Okay, children? See this. Next. And some more flesh eating animals are option. Yes, children. See this, a vulture and a kite. These are some flesh eating birds like eagles, kites and vultures. They have sharp and hooked beaks, children, for tearing the flesh. They also have the strong claws to catch their prey. Okay, next. The omnivores. See, children, what are omnivores? They eat these animals. They eat both the plants and flesh of other animals. These are called omnivores. Omnivorous animals. Human beings, bears and crows, these are some omnivores. Yes, children, we also come under animals only. Understood? We are human beings, but we are omnivores because we eat both the plants also. We have veggies in us and non-vegetarians also. Veggies means vegetarians, non-vegetarian. We are also omnivorous only. Okay. Next, bear. This will eat honey also. It will eat flesh also. Crow. It will also eat the flesh also, and it will eat rice also. Understood? Grains also. That's why it's omnivorous. Next, the organs for breathing. See this, children, how the breathing is different in the animals. See, these are the, you can see a fish here, grasshopper here. So organs for breathing. We have nose for breathing. No, that means inside our body we have lungs, which is they are helping us for breathing. In the same way, animals also need to breathe to get the oxygen for respiration. The oxygen burns the food within the animal's body and releases the energy for all the activities. So the animals take oxygen from the surroundings, children, like air and water. Different animals breathe through different organs. Like we have lungs, animals also, each animal is they are not same, they are unique. Just now I told, no, like that only they have the different organs for breathing. Okay, see this. Tiny organisms like amoeba and paramecium breathe through their body surfaces, whole body. This is amoeba, this is breathing, this will breathe through its whole body, children. Next, see this. Insects have tiny holes along the side of their bodies, and these holes are called spiracles. See this, spiracles, spiracles. This is grasshopper, and on this it has small pores called spiracles. Through this only it will breathe. Next, and next, moving on to the fish. This enters through the spiracle, reaches all the parts of the body through the small tubes called breathing tubes. Next, see this, fish. Now this is the aquatic animal. Fish is an aquatic animal. No? It lives in the water. These are called aquatic animals. Fish, prawn and crab. They breathe through the help of the gills, children. See this. They are having small, like just now I told, scales like the thing. No, here inside this very big like a scale it will be there. In this you have gills. Okay. See, like layers. This is called gill. Then the water flows here. This is the fish gill, and here from this the water will be out. In this way the water flows in through the mouth. In this way the fish will breathe. Okay. Now, where the oxygen is dissolved in water and absorbed and reaches the every part of the body, through this only the gills also expel out carbon dioxide into water. Understood? This fish also, like it is taking oxygen and releasing the carbon dioxide into water. Next, an adult frog, it will breathe through its moist skin when it is in water, but on land it breathes through the lungs. Okay, children, see this. Here earthworm, we are talking about earthworm also. The earthworm breathes through its moist skin. See, it will breathe through its moist skin only, the earthworm. Now I will show you the picture of the frog. See this children here. This frog also, it is breathing through this. It will have the small pores on the nose, and from that only it will breathe. Okay. Next children. Moving on to the next segment. Movement. Come on, see movement. What is the movement, children? Yes. The animals move from place to place in search of food, shelter, and also to escape from the other enemies. So different animals have different organs for the movement. Okay. Now, land animals. Now see the land animals. What are the land animals? Just now I told, no? You have land animals. You see this, we will talk about a lion and a human being. We also come under one type of orangutan monkeys species only, children. Okay, that's why they are giving everywhere. When we are talking about the land animals also, here also omnivores also we came, human beings also, where we are talking about the human beings. Okay, the land animals are mostly move with the help of the legs, children. We have 2 legs, no? In the same way, most of the other animals, they have 4 legs. So 2 in the front and the 2 at the back. To the front of the body are called forelimbs, and the back is called the hind limbs. All the 4 legs, but some of them, they are like human beings, use only their hind limbs, children, to move, and some of them, they use only the four limbs or hands, can hold many things and help to do work. Okay. Next, see, we'll talk about the movement in the reptiles. See this, reptiles means what? Snake, lizards, crocodiles. Crocodiles also reptiles only. And tortoise crawl on the land, and with the help of their short legs. The snakes also live on land, but they have no legs. They move with the help of their body scales. Okay, clear? Next, we are moving on to the next segment called water animals. Penguins, seal, fish, duck. Old MacDonald had a farm. Oh, we are talking about duck also, children, here. See this. Now, how cute, no, the duck is? Water or aquatic animals like fishes, they move with the help of their fins, children. And ducks use their webbed feet to swim. See this. This is the webbed feet. Okay. They use this webbed feet to swim. The turtles have the 4 paddle-like limbs to push the water back and move forward. Animals like penguins and seals swim with the help of flippers. See this. Flippers. See. These are the flippers. And just now they spoke about the seals. No, they swim with the help of, these are the flippers, and these are the penguin also have the flippers. These are flippers. The birds can fly with the help of their wings, children. See this. This is a flying bird, beautiful macaw. Then it is an ostrich. Okay, this can't fly, but it's a very heavy bird. Okay, ostrich is a bird only. It's the largest, biggest bird. Okay. They have the strong wings, modified forelimbs, and lighter bodies, with the help of which they can fly. By moving their wings up and down, the birds push themselves in the air, children. The birds use their 2 legs to perch on the branches to sit, okay, of the trees. And they also use their legs to walk or hop, like penguin. And some birds are there like emu, ostrich, and penguin. They cannot fly because they are a very heavy body and weak wings. That's now I told, no? Ostrich also. Okay. Next. See this, children, insects. This is an ant, cheetah. Okay. Next, it's a butterfly. Cheetah in Hindi, no? Insects have 6 legs for their movement, children. And insects like ants, cockroaches, bugs, these all you see in your houses, no? Crawl on their legs. Some insects like grasshoppers use their legs for hopping. And some insects also, they are seen in the water, like boatmen swim in water with their legs. Many insects have the, like butterfly, firefly, they have wings which help them to fly. Okay. Next, moving on to the next segment is the migration. Look at the board, children. Sorry. Migration is the seasonal mass movement of the animals to a more favorable environment. Again, I am repeating, migration. Migration is the seasonal mass movement of the animals to a more favorable environment. Okay. The example for the migration of some of the animals which are given in the textbook are like birds also. Siberian crane, mallard duck. Just have a look given in the textbook, children. See this. This is Arctic tern. Then Siberian crane. then mallard duck. Now I will talk about the migration, how these animals migrate, children. See, this, the bird Arctic tern, it makes a longest migration, about 40,000 kilometers, children, in every winters from the Arctic Circle to the Antarctic Circle and back to the Arctic Circle at the end of the winters. This, see how much it is migrating. It is having that much capacity. Okay, children. Next, we're talking about the Siberian crane and mallard duck. They come to India every winters, children, to breed. See, these two, this is duck and crane. These two come to India. They will fly from the other country to India. They come to breed. Understood? See how much capacity they are having and how much brain they have, the God has given. That's what I am telling. Each and every animal is unique. Next, fish like Solomon, they live in seawater. It travels long distances to reach the freshwater rivers to keep the eggs, and the young ones travel back to the sea. So some insects like locusts, it is called LOCUST, locust, and monarch butterflies, they also migrate long distances. The monarch butterflies migrate from Canada to Mexico, children. You know, that means hundreds and thousands of kilometers they travel in winters and come back in the summers. Okay, this is the end of the lesson, children. I would like to show you some amazing animals. I have collected the pictures, and before that, just have a look at the keywords given in the textbook: habitat, desert, gills, adaptations, camouflage, migration. Okay, children. Next, I would like to show you some more amazing animals I have collected and kept it ready. Just have a look, children. See this. See this, children. This is Arctic fox. See how it is. See. Okay. This is hamsters. It is white in color. See this, how it is having fur. It is looking like a rat, no, but it's not a rat. It's hamsters. It is seen in the deep wild forests. Okay. Next, this is fennec fox. Maybe you doesn't have idea about this. That's why I've collected. I've taken the printout and kept it ready for you. These are the new amazing animals. See this. This is fennec fox. This is called fennec fox. This is also in the wild deep forest. It will be seen. Now this is owl. Everybody knows. You are aware of this. Next, cheetah. This is the fastest running animal. You know that, land animal. Next, this is Hyperoleus. The name of this is looking like a frog, no? Yeah, this is also one breed in one type of frog, but this is a different one. It's very fast. This is Hyperoleus. Okay, children. This is the end of the lesson. And if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I will be back with one more next lesson. Thank you and have a nice day.